What's going on, guys? Austin here from Corruptcarbonworks. Today we're going to do a video showing you what the Jekyll and Hyde full kit is going to consist of, some tips while building it, and possibly talk about some of the other options that you'll have on the website while ordering this chassis. So let me get the other camera set up so we can get it all laid out here, and then we'll get right to it. Alright guys, so we've got our table laid out here so we can see. Obviously, first things first, it's going to be the chassis rails. So the kit's going to come something rather like this. It'll be more sealed up and everything. But we'll go ahead and pour this out to kind of give you guys an idea of everything you're getting in the kit here. So obviously, kind of push these off. These are your rear rails here. They're identical, you know, front and back. Obviously the forged carbon. This is just the black edition here, so you guys can see. So these will be your rear rails. And then here is your front. Now your front will have opposites, so you can see the Jekyll and Hyde carved on there. So obviously you'll have one for one side, one for the other, so the Jekyll and Hyde is showing when the chassis is fully built. So front rails, and then your rear shock hoops to go with your rear rails there. Now guys, when it comes to the kit, you can pretty much bolt these down this whole pattern here depending on your wheelbase. Most of your 12.5 or anything like that, it's going to bolt into this range, probably right around there close. There's always the slanted option there with the other hole here on top. So, but this is fully adjustable for your wheelbase depending on what you're going to run. So that's good if you're planning on running a shorter or longer wheelbase. Your center sections, both identical, front and back, left, right. So guys, when you look at the chassis here or the rail itself, well, it doesn't really matter. So here's your angle going this way. So when you build the chassis, the slope that you can see here, so you'll want that high end, like this side here, on the back side. So front, back. So it'll sit just like that in the chassis. Okay? So there's your center sections, your transmission mount, or your transmission pieces here, and then this is the cross brace that the transmission bolts to, and this piece here that you see will tie into this section here of the chassis. And then this is our T-case setup. Two plates, they're identical, but when you put them together, it'll be kind of just like the Ninja, you know, inside lips or shoulders or flanges of the bearing will be in the inside of the T-case when it's fully built. So there is your chassis setup. Center section right here, rear shock hoops, front sections here, T-case plates right there, and then transmission, and then cross brace. Alright, so those will be your chassis pieces that you'll receive in the box. Let's go ahead and put those back. Lots of pieces, but it is a builder's chassis for sure. Next, I'm going to grab out here. These are going to be your transmission and T-case hardware. With that, I'll bring these out. Okay, these are our T-case gears here. You'll use 3 out of the 4. The little one won't be used. This is our T-case hardware and outputs and bearings, standoffs. So all the hardware, all the outputs, bearings, and standoffs to build the T-case. And then here is all the parts to build the transmission. So all hardened gears, all of our bearings, standoffs, stainless hardware, shims, everything to build the transmission. Okay, so those will be your 3 bags there. And guys, we'll, this video here is kind of explaining what's in the kit. We'll do another video, probably building one, so you guys can see all of that. Now the transmission and the T-case is built exactly the same as the Katana or the Ninja, and there are already videos of those up. I would suggest the Katana video. We shot that a little bit later, a little bit nicer camera setup, and people are seeming to like that one more than they like the Ninja one. Guys, you'll get 2 deluxe dry shafts. Now, we're still contemplating right now with the kit to where the rear dry shaft might come with the longer or the extended version. In my case, I've never had a problem with just the standard length, but we're pushing it right at its max. So we might switch out the longer version for that. If not, like I said, I've never once had a problem with just this, but if you wanted to push past 12.5 wheelbase, yet you'll definitely need the extended version. So maybe just to kind of get that set up correctly, if anybody wanted to go longer, maybe we'll include the longer shaft in with that. And also, unfortunately, here I don't have them here. They weren't delivered today, but we will also include the top little dry shaft from T-case to transmission. That will be included in the kit and will be available when you purchase it, obviously. So that will come in the kit, the full kit, when we do sell it, or when the pre-orders go up and when they go shipped out. So 2 deluxe dry shafts for the kit. Obviously our skid. This is going to give our 12 degrees of breakover, our angle in the skid to compensate for that, to let our drivetrain be completely straight. No holes on the bottom, so we're good, slick, smooth surface. And our T-case will bolt straight to the standoffs that you see coming up out of it. So this is a fully solid skid from Fish's Crawler Parts, guys. Then, let's see. Obviously, you will get your unicorn mounts here. So these will allow you to bolt your body and be braces. So these go straight across, as you can see on mine here. Hopefully, yep, straight across. And then the stud will come up. You can cut it to whatever length you need. So now you get an acting brace and a body mount. It has body nuts here, the flat ones that you see in the package right there. And then it has regular ones right here, all nylon. So I typically run the regular ones underneath, or I don't run them at all if the body's sitting right on top of the brace. And that'll give you your ride height, and then the more flat, more aesthetically pleasing body nuts on the top of the body there. And then you would on and off for the rig. There's also one you can see up front here. I had an extra of the larger ones laying around, and I used it as underneath the body. You can do either or. It comes with 4 of each nuts in the kit. So you got 2 body mounting options. They're called unicorns, and they can be cut to whatever length that you desire. If you do that, guys, excuse me, highly suggest after you cut them, grab a small drill bit and just clean out the inside of the tube. It might still have some of that powder they use while they print these stuck up in there, so you clean that out so when you run the screw in there, it has room to make threads and go in. So no problem there. Next, obviously, our CMS mount. Guys, these are made at 70 millimeters wide. If you choose to run that in the front of the chassis, which obviously I do, you will have to trim it. These inner plates here, your side plates, these are set at 70, and then you bolt the inside plates or the front plates and the rear plates inside, at least I did. And then that will actually make it a little bit more narrow here in the front. Okay, so you'll have to trim one side. I would suggest only trimming one side so you can still fit your steer servo on the other. What that's going to do is actually take some room off of the other side and narrow this up almost to where you can't run a servo in it. But I typically mount, say, like my battery up here, and then I've got this little tiny micro servo here. Guys, like I said, they are a builder's chassis. Maybe later on down the road we'll redesign this to where we'll bring those into the correct width. But right now, this has been pretty much everyone's layout, and it's worked out fairly well so far. So just know that you might need to trim this up. Obviously, we always cut these center sections out, and then I trimmed mine up on one side. That CMS will come with a panhard mount. Right here, it's our typical panhard mount that we sell. They are nut-certed inside nowadays, so we do have metal threads in the inside. Very strong. I've never seen someone break one. I have seen them pull out before, but that's after a lot of running or a bad print. But now, since we've done the nut insert in the inside, we haven't had any issues. On that, guys, don't forget that we do make a all aluminum panhard mount. There we go. That will be an option to upgrade to while ordering if you'd like. And this basically runs right along the side of the front in the slots of the rails. It will allow you to move it forward and back, and then it's got one mounting point underneath for your panhard. You'll be able to space off the bottom. This is 7075 aluminum. Extremely strong, extremely durable, but this is an upgrade to the CMS kit. Last but not least in the kit, links. So these links are bent by me. So all link kits coming with the Jekyll and Hyde, guys, are going to be an F10 base. And before everyone screams, oh, I'm not using F10s, I won't be able to buy the kit, just relax for a second, okay? So what we have found lately is F10s are a good platform right in the middle of everything, okay? Instead of us stocking 8 to 9 different link kits for the Jekyll and Hyde, we're going to do F10 links / lengths, and what that is it's a hair wider than AR-45. It's the exact same length, if not maybe just a little bit, but pretty much the same length as CP43s, and it's a hair under Capras. So what that's going to give us is that middle ground, okay? If you're running F10s, boom, you're ready to rock, okay? If you're running AR-45s, you might need to tweak them a little bit. If you're running CP43s, you're pretty much going to be right on the money also. And then if you're running Capras, you're going to need a handful of different rod end lengths to make sure you're getting to where you need to with Capras, okay? Capras, if I'm not mistaken, are center section, so that is not an ideal choice for this if you're running the forward trans NRT case. Offset is very, very much approved, okay? With that being said, AR-45Ps or portals should get you there. You should be fine. You maybe have to tweak a little bit here and there. F10s, CP43s, you should be right on the money. Capras, which I don't suggest unless you're just running center trans and 4-link, you'll have to extend them probably more than likely, okay? But with that, our links are in the kit and labeled, so you will get all of these links here. A couple more. I didn't want to get all the rod ends out. There we go. So you will get Traxxas Revo rod ends with all of the pivot balls. You will get this card that tells you, there we go, the color and what it's for. And then when you look at the links, this is a straight right there, red on the end like that, green on the end like that, green rear lowers, okay? So all this is going to be labeled. You'll have everything in here. You obviously your steer link, it's got gold on the bottom, gold tie rod right there, okay? So everything's labeled for you to see. It should be right on the money for you, hopefully, if I did some bending right, and you'll be good to go. So you're really, the only straight links you're going to have, rear uppers, your rear lowers, and then your what they call drag link, or from your from your servo right there, white, yep, from your servo to your knuckle, okay? Everything else is bent, hopefully for clearance for you. That'll work. Your links do get, or your front link does get mounted on the outside, front upper on the outside there, so you'll go to your axle and then it bends out and comes to the outside of the chassis right there. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Obviously high bends for the rear, straights for the uppers. They didn't really need to be bent, they had clearance, and then straights for the front lowers. And so far everything's worked out really well. The front lowers, panhard, drag link, and tie rod are all 4mm thick, and then the rears, because of the added distance, are right at your 5mm thick, all titanium. So those will be your links. Get those all back in there with the card. Obviously, guys, you will get this in your kit for you to subscribe to Corruptcarbonworks. And guys, it's not just to get you to subscribe. It's actually there to take you to our channel, to where we'll have videos like this, to where you can pay, kind of get an idea of what you're doing, or we'll have a build video on there so you can get an idea on how to build it, step by step, go through to build your truck, and any help that is available. Last but not least, that comes in the kit, just a small brace like this. It is narrow, it is very small, and what that's going to do and allow you to do, if you wanted, which I always suggest, is mount right to the inside of this hole right here. I took mine off so I could point to the hole, obviously. Mount it right there above the transmission. That makes sure that ties your front plates in real tight to make sure nothing ever comes out of the slots in the chassis. But guys, that is the Jekyll and Hyde kit in a nutshell. Guys, these will be available in our obviously forged carbon colors. It'll be available in everything that we can. So that beautiful forged carbon that you see there. The kits have forged carbon front and back, but does have a T700 center, woven center. So we do get a little bit of the flexibility that some people like out of G10, but don't like out of the solid woven. But then we still get that structural quality of the T700 in the center of that good thick weave. So guys, I think it's going to be very good for the chassis setup, especially for the rears being the distance that they are. They have a little give to them. You guys can see that. But, I mean, they are structurally sound, okay? But like I said, they'll be available in all colors: black, green, gold, silver, blue, and galaxy. And then obviously black. Or I said black at the beginning. But that's the colors that are going to be available. I hope you all are extremely excited about this kit, because we are, throughout the testing that we've all been doing with everything, the outcome has been incredible. Let me get you back to the other camera, talk a little bit more, and then we will be done. Alright guys, so that is the Jekyll and Hyde kit in a nutshell. I just wanted to kind of make a video so everyone kind of was aware of what they're getting in the kit. Like I said, you still are going to receive that top dry shaft, just those parts aren't in yet, but that will be there, so you will have all 3 dry shafts in the kit. You'll be able to choose your color of choice. You'll be able to choose if you want the upgraded aluminum panhard mount, and then you'll also be able to choose if you would like the chassis, transmission, and T-case to be built and broke in by me before shipped. That way when it gets to you, you can just build it, build your links, and then you're pretty much set to go at that point. So guys, if there's any questions, please leave it in the comments or shoot Corruptcarbonworks a message, and I'll be happy to answer any of those that you got. And then we've been putting some videos out of the Jekyll and Hyde running. I know Rez Roland has been putting a ton of them out. I've put a couple of them out. There's a lot of team drivers that are about to have even more of them in their hands. So get ready. This is an awesome chassis. It's an awesome platform. It's definitely pushing the limits of what we can do with these awesome Class 2 and Class 3 rigs. And maybe Class 1. Keep your eye out. But thanks so much for your love and support. We'll see you guys a little bit later.